If you grew up during the early 2000s, you very likely have seen an M&M's advertisement showcasing these guys, the M&M's Minis. A wild swarm of smaller, occasionally armless and legless, mischievous M&Ms who, through their extreme craftiness, ability to transform, and sheer numbers, oftentimes outsmart red and yellow, who are constantly trying to contain them. But hold up, those aren't the first Minis. Those are from 1997. Let's first take a look at the Minis who debuted 1 year prior, 1996. Before the bug-eyed boys most know of, M&M Minis were represented by characters akin to the pre-Spokes Candy era. Through the few existing pictures of the original Minis tubes online, we can see characters representing green, red, blue, pink, and orange. When looking at the other ways Minis were released, including these unique cardboard vehicles, we can also see a yellow and purple, which does not exist in the pre-Spokes Candy era, therefore confirming them as separate smaller side characters. Around Halloween time, a ghost mini can be seen with no color being visible whatsoever, allowing for an 8th countable entry. Switching now to the 1997 Minis, today they're all but a distant memory, but back in the day, Mars went pretty heavy with the promotion of these guys. The amount of advertisements, dispensers, collectibles, and random bits of merchandise related to the Minis is honestly shocking. Like, you would be amazed at the sheer quantity of Minis related products that are out there. When discussing the Minis mascots, they're almost always just lumped together because none are named and they're never seen separated. Something worth noting though is every time they're seen, they always consist of the same 7 colors: blue, red, brown, green, yellow, pink, and orange. Every piece of Minis related anything will only ever feature those 7 colors, with a few rare exceptions. Outside of the initial 7, there's a teal mini, purple mini, light pink mini, and a black mini. Starting first with the teal and purple pair, they look to have been deemed part of the core group because wow are there numerous different plushes, collectibles, and dispensers featuring those two. You can see for yourself how hard M&M's the brand pushed them as characters. For the light pink mini, a bit of clarification is needed. This particular style of Minis dispenser is by far the most commonly seen piece of Minis merchandise, but it technically only came in 5 unique bodies, which could then be customized. Over in Hong Kong, they not only received an exclusive orange color, but also a light pink, which is different than the standard pink. This was probably just because of a simple manufacturing related decision, but nonetheless provides us a unique character. The black mini was only ever seen within a series of Danbury Mint M&M's collectibles. Seen within these highly detailed collector's pieces is sometimes a brown mini, but oftentimes a black one, which occasionally is also seen representing a shellless mini, going against the whole idea of plain chocolate brown centers. Throughout the Minis' extensive advertising campaign, many more related characters and creatures can be seen that almost count as extended universe entries, but for one reason or another are being ignored. Starting in 2003, a third wave of Minis debuted as the new face of the candy. This batch of miniature M&Ms is significantly less popular than prior mascots, but are still remembered for their print ads and iconic commercials. Unlike the 2 previous Minis eras, every M&M has its own unique look, name, and personality. Anytime you see a Mini from around this time period, it will always match the exact appearance of one of 21 total characters, the names of which are Xanth, Rosie, Ember, Cinnabar, Prussian, Ruddy, Umber, Chiffon, Lazuline, Crimson, Cyan, Brun, Peridot, Blush, Odorion, Catter, Chiffon, Sorrel, Grove, Citrine, and Chartreuse. As you probably noticed, all 21 are split into the 7 colors of blue, brown, green, orange, red, yellow, and pink. Courtesy of an M&M's insider, we know just about everything there is to know about them via this style guide. Within its pages, we see how Minis are never meant to have arms or legs, only occasional hands, how each are meant to obviously be male or female, how each design needs to stick to their designated color, amongst other rules regarding their eyes, swarm sizes, M angling, and their whole backstory of being immature young M&Ms who escaped containment and have been wreaking havoc ever since. In addition to all that info is a ton of scrapped early Minis designs. The story actually elaborates on how the idea behind the minis originally was to steal attention away from blue M&Ms, who were the most popular in the mid-90s. Despite the strict rules stated about sticking to the right colors, there exist many pieces of 2003 minis related merchandise that have certain characters paired with the wrong colors. Those could be passed off as mini drones, which are also clearly defined in the style guide. Occasionally you'll run into old magazine advertisements and website archive screenshots claiming to list their proper names, but oftentimes these are incorrect. Before 2003, the minis would seasonally dress up or have some sort of cosmetic appearance change, but it was only with this specific era of minis where they would significantly change appearance to represent well-known properties like Shrek and Star Wars. These aren't being counted separately despite their dramatic color changes because at the end of the day, each of the designs still matched one of the pre-established 21 characters. When talking to that same M&M's insider who provided the style guide, they were able to provide the exact reason why you no longer see the minis advertising mini M&Ms anymore, and instead only ever see red and yellow in their place. This was because a few years after the 2003 redesign, there was a health initiative starting centered around making kids healthier, and a big part of that was focusing on which foods were being marketed to children. Because of the minis advertisements playing on children's TV channels, their print ads being placed in kids' magazines, and the fact that they're meant to represent younger versions of the classic M&M's characters, all combined together led to them being cut completely. That's why you don't see these fun print ads anymore featuring little games to play, and why you don't see any M&M's commercials on kids' channels. The company was afraid of a lawsuit and deemed the minis a risk to business.